What if you could live forever? Not your children, not your grandchildren, you, forever. Imagine growing old, then simply deciding to be young again, waking up tomorrow with a fresh body, a clean slate, and all the time in the world. Sounds like science fiction, right? Like something from a superhero movie. But deep in the oceans of Earth, there's a creature that actually does this. Scientists call it Turritopsis dohrnii. The rest of us call it the immortal jellyfish. In the 1980s, a young German marine biologist named Christian Sommer was studying a tiny species of jellyfish. They were only about 4.5 millimeters wide, smaller than your pinky nail. He kept them in tanks, observing their life cycle, but at one point, he accidentally damaged some of the jellyfish while cleaning the tank. He expected them to die. Instead, something impossible happened. To understand why this was so shocking, you need to understand how jellyfish normally live. Every jellyfish starts as a fertilized egg. That egg becomes a tiny larva that floats until it finds a solid surface to attach to. Once attached, it transforms into a polyp, basically a tiny tube with tentacles. The polyp sits there, eating, growing, and cloning itself. Then, when conditions are right, the polyp does something amazing. It buds off tiny baby jellyfish called ephra. These grow into adults, the beautiful, floating creatures we recognize. And the adult jellyfish eventually grows old, reproduces, and dies. That's the deal. That's how it works for every jellyfish species. Except one. When Sommer injured those jellyfish, something strange happened. Instead of dying, they started to shrink. Their tentacles retracted. Their bodies became smaller and smaller. Then, they sank to the bottom and attached themselves to the tank. They transformed back into polyps. These adult jellyfish had reversed their life cycle. They became babies again. And when those polyps grew up again, they were genetically identical to the original jellyfish. Same individual, new body. This wasn't just regeneration, this was biological time travel. The secret lies in something called transdifferentiation. In most animals, cells have a specific job. Skin cells stay skin cells. Brain cells stay brain cells. Once they specialize, they can't change. But the immortal jellyfish can take one type of cell and transform it into another. Muscle cells become nerve cells. Skin cells become tentacle cells. They can rebuild their entire body from scratch. It's like if you could take your skin cells and turn them into brain cells, or your heart cells into eye cells. Completely impossible for us, completely normal for them. So does this mean these jellyfish live forever? In perfect conditions, theoretically yes. In a lab, scientists have watched them cycle through their life stages over and over, like a biological Groundhog Day. No aging, no deterioration, just endless do-overs. But in the real ocean, it's different. They still get eaten, they still get diseases, they still get swept into hostile waters where they can't survive. Immortal doesn't mean invincible. But if nothing kills them, they just keep going, forever. Scientists are obsessed with this tiny creature, not just because it's cool, but because it might teach us something about our own cells. If we can understand how the jellyfish reverses aging, could we apply that to humans? Probably not immortality, but maybe healing, maybe regeneration, maybe slowing down the clock. This tiny, translucent drifters hold secrets we're only beginning to understand. And they've been doing it for millions of years. So next time someone says nothing lives forever, you can tell them about the tiny jellyfish that cheats death. One day at a time. One life cycle at a time. Would you want to live forever? Or does that sound more like a curse than a gift? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the Fact Atlas. Stay curious.